Shalom. First off, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh Ba'ashem, Yahushua, Ba'ashem, Rachakodash. This lesson is going to be titled Jacob's Trouble. Starting off at Amos 8 and 11. Behold, days come, saith the Lord Yahweh, that I will send a famine in the land. Not a famine of bread, nor a thirst for water, but of hearing the words of Yahweh. See, so at the time of hearing the warning, the time to take heed to the message, it's over. It's going to be over soon. But the elect are going to obtain it. But, the 2/3, it's going to be too late for them. They're going to have to face the wrath of the Lord. Because they didn't try to come to the Lord. They didn't try to get the understanding. But ultimately, it's because it wasn't given to them. Because the Lord only has chosen few the Lord wants. But also as it says, let me just read it again. Amos 8:11. Behold, the days come, saith Yahweh, that will send a famine in the land. Not a famine of bread, nor thirst for water, but of hearing the words of Yahweh. See, so after this time is up, you're not going to be able to get any more understanding, as to what's going on, what prophecy is being fulfilled, what's happening now, Next, let me get Habakkuk 2:3. For the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie. Though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come, it will not tarry. See, so all the warnings and, prophecies being fulfilled, soon, and all this is gonna come back to back. This prophecy is being fulfilled. Although it may take some time, but although it has already been some time, so now is almost a time to where everything's just gonna line up together, and it's gonna be back-to-back prophecies being fulfilled over, like, back to back to back to back, where you're not even gonna have no time to prepare yourself. So that's why you gotta prepare yourself now. Get the understanding while you can, because time ain't waiting on you. So you gotta use it while you still have it. And that's why we have this grace period for. Next, let me get Zephaniah 1:14. The great day of Yahweh is near. It is near, and hasteth greatly. Even the voice of the day of Yahweh. The mighty man shall cry there bitterly. That day is the day of wrath, a day of trouble and distress, a day of wasteness and desolation, a day of darkness and gloominess, a day of clouds and thick darkness. See, this is the day that we're coming to. You know how bad it's gonna be, man? It's gonna be straight anarchy. It's gonna be chaos all around, no matter where you go. You see how much people are living here. This country really feels packed, and when everyone starts bugging out, becoming corrupted, and just go psycho. Especially when you're living by them. The Lord has to really be protecting you in that day. And that's the only way. Next, let me get Amos 5:18. Woe unto you that desire the day of Yahweh. To what end is it? Let me read that again. Amos 5:18. Woe unto you that desire the day of Yahweh. To what end is it for you? The day of Yahweh is darkness and not light. As if a man did flee from a lion, and a bear met him, or went into the house, and leaned his hand on the wall, and a serpent bit him. See, so on that day, you're going to come across many troubles. So after you escape a bear, you're going to, you're going to run into a house, and you're going to end up running into a poisonous snake that's going to kill you. But that's just for example. That's saying. Other examples are like, you can be getting shot at. You run and hide, and then someone's already behind you and just stabs you. Without you even knowing. He's already in the house. Or like, it's like an animal situation, like before. You could see like a bear chasing you. And then you don't know where you're going. You get careless, and then a crocodile gets you. These are the times we're coming in, man. If you're not with the Lord, everything's going to come against you. But next, let me get Revelation 13 and 8. And all that dwell upon the earth shall worship him, and whose names are not written in the book of life of the Lamb, slain from the foundation of the world. Let me read that again. Revelation 13 and 8. And all that dwell upon the earth shall worship him. Meaning, and what's that talking? What that's talking about is the beast. The MOTB. To shorten it up. And all who worship him, they're gonna be setting themselves for destruction. Which is 2/3 and the rest of the heathen. And either way, if they don't, go, lean on the MOTB, 2/3 and the heathen. Either way, they're still going to receive judgment because they're not of the chosen. So it doesn't matter if you take it or not. Well, it does matter, but if you're chosen, you're not even going to take it anyway. So really, you just got to be of the elect. There's no way for deliverance out of here if you're not of the elect. You're not chosen to get delivered. Next, let me get Isaiah 63 and 1. Who is the strength that cometh from Edom, whose dyed garments from Basra? That is glorious in his apparel, traveling in the greatness of his strength. I that speak in righteousness, mighty to save. Wherefore art thou red in thine apparel, and thy garments like him that treadeth in the wine fat? I have trodden the winepress alone, and of the people there was none with me, for I will tread them in my anger, and trample them in my fury, and their blood shall be sprinkled upon my garments, and I will stain all my raiment. See, the Lord's gonna have to get ruthless out here on these wicked, and it's righteous anyway. I mean, you see how these people are. They're fucked up, bugged out, have demons on them. 5. And I looked, and there was none to help, and wondered that there was none to uphold. Therefore mine own arm brought salvation unto me, and my fury it upheld me. And I will tread down the people in mine anger, and make them drunk in my fury, and I will bring down their strength to the earth. But yeah, you get it. The Lord's gonna have vengeance with all these, heathen and all these other wicked. Next, let me get Psalms 62, 5. My soul, wait thou only upon the Most High, for my expectation is from him. He is my rock and my salvation. He is my defense. I shall not be moved. In power is my salvation, and my glory, the rock of my strength, and our refuge is in the Most High. See, so that's who's going to protect us in those times. It's who's going to shelter us, who's going to provide us. Who's going to give us what we need to keep enduring. Until we get delivered. And we're going to be given, the spiritual power. And we're going to be, using it throughout Jacob's trouble. It's only the elect. The Lord's gonna guide them. So it's gonna guide the elect to their way, their passage. So the elect are gonna be shielded from all the trouble that's gonna come in. It might seem like you get stuck in a situation, and the Lord was gonna bring you out of it, one way or another. Whether it's by just clever means, whether it's by a miracle, or whether it's just a perfect timing. Whatever the Lord has for you, He's gonna be. If you're the elect, you're gonna be having a safe passage. So if you're not even trying to be of the elect, then you're really solidifying, your death. That's why you need to come to the Lord, man. To be sheltered, to be protected, and to love Him. First of all, because, the Lord loves us. Yahweh Shai sacrificed Himself for us. So we got to serve Yahweh and Yahweh Shai. Next, let me get Jeremiah 37. Alas, for the day is great, so that none is like it. It is even a time of Jacob's trouble, but he shall be saved out of it. See, so, that's why it's called Jacob's trouble, because all this trouble is really going to target Jacob, for the most part. That's who they're going to, Esau and these nations are going to come down on. They're going to come down on Jacob. So, 2/3, they're really going to suffer, man. But the elect, as I said, you're going to be having a safe passage. While the rest of the 2/3 are going to have to suffer badly. Whatever they got for them. Whatever the Lord reserved for them. But that's why we got to come to the Lord for His mercy. For all the times that, we disobeyed the Lord, and yet He still brought us back in. We can't take the Lord's mercy for granted. We got to do what needs to be done. Next, let me get Psalms 91 and 9. Because thou hast made Yahweh, which is my refuge, even the Most High, thy habitation. There shall no evil befall thee, neither shall any plague come nigh thy dwelling. Just to back up, the protection. These people might have these boils over them, while the Lord's people, nothing's wrong with them. They're good. They're protected. People could have cancers in their bodies, and the Lord's people, they won't. They elect it. They'll be perfect. They'll be fine. They're still enduring. That's the type of protection that we need, man. Next, let me just get one more. Second Ezra's 2:9. Whose land lieth in clouds of pitch and heaps of ashes. Even so will I do unto them that hear me not, saith Almighty Yahweh. Say so. Those who don't hear this message, you're gonna receive the wrath that the wicked are gonna get. Which, as it says, clouds of pitch and heaps of ashes. That seems really, the situation to be put into that. Like, man, hell no. Especially going through that nuclear fire. It's heavy judgment for the wicked. And for the 2/3, you're gonna have shame because they didn't come listen to the Lord. Whenever we're in the kingdom, they're gonna be shamed. Well, they're not gonna be ashamed. They're gonna be ashamed, but they're not gonna be, constantly always down. But that is gonna be, be there because they elected. They're gonna be kings. They're gonna rise up, man, to be rulers. But anyway, with that, let's wrap up this lesson. I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh Ba'Hashem, Yahushua Ba'Hashem, Hakodash. What's that? I'm gonna say Shalom.